It started with a knock on my door, sharp, impatient, and followed by the shrill voice of our HOA's self-appointed enforcer, Karen. She pointed at my freshly renovated porch and said, "This isn't up to code. You'll have to tear it down." I stood there, stunned. After weeks of sweat and careful work, my home improvement project was suddenly under attack. What she didn't know was that she had chosen the wrong person to intimidate, because I knew the code better than she ever could. If you enjoy true stories of standing up to arrogance and unfair rules, be sure to subscribe for more. It means a lot to me and keeps these stories coming. For years, I lived quietly in my home. It was modest, well-kept, and filled with memories of raising my kids. Retirement gave me time for projects I'd postponed for decades. Last spring, I decided to rebuild the porch, stronger beams, safer steps, a roof extension for shade. Every measurement, every bolt, was chosen with precision. When it was finished, neighbors complimented me. "Looks like a professional job," my friend Jim said, sipping coffee on the new steps. But not everyone was happy. Karen, who had a reputation for meddling, didn't like it. She strutted around with a clipboard, always searching for violations. One morning she appeared at my door with that familiar scowl. "This porch," she barked, "isn't compliant with the HOA rules or county codes. It needs immediate removal." I kept calm. "Karen, the porch is safe and built to standard. There's no issue." She smirked. "I've already reported it to the board. Expect fines." Sure enough, a letter arrived days later, $100 per week until I demolished the porch. My stomach tightened. It wasn't about money, it was the principle. I had worked carefully, legally, and responsibly. I decided to confront Karen directly. I walked over to her house, letter in hand. She greeted me with a smug grin. "Karen," I said evenly, "on what grounds are you fining me?" Her reply dripped with arrogance, "Because I say it's not up to code. Don't argue." That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed her words. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized she had no idea who she was dealing with. You see, before retirement, I spent 35 years as a certified building inspector for the county. I didn't just know the code, I enforced it. Every line, every regulation, was ingrained in my memory. And yes, even in retirement, my certification remained valid. The irony made me laugh out loud in the dark. Karen wanted to challenge me on building codes? Fine. But soon she'd learn I wasn't just a homeowner, I was the authority she feared most. I began gathering my documentation, permits, materials receipts, compliance forms. Then I pulled out my official county inspector credentials. The plan was forming, and I couldn't wait to see Karen's face when the truth came out. The showdown came quicker than expected. At the next HOA meeting, Karen stood proudly before the board. "This man's porch violates community standards," she declared, waving photos like evidence in a trial. I sat quietly until the chair invited me to respond. I carried a folder under my arm, calm as could be. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, "I hear accusations that my porch is unsafe and non-compliant. May I clarify a few things?" Karen folded her arms. "You can try, but the board knows I'm right." I opened the folder, revealing stamped permits and signed approvals. Gasps echoed around the room. One board member leaned forward. "These look official." "They are," I said. Then, slowly, I placed my inspector's badge on the table. "Because I'm the one who approved it." The room went silent. Karen's face drained of color. You're a building inspector," she stammered. "Retired," I corrected, "but fully certified. And according to county law, this porch meets every requirement. It's safe, legal, and compliant. The only violation here is the false claims being made against me." Laughter rippled through the crowd. One neighbor whispered loudly, "Guess Karen picked the wrong fight this time." Karen's voice cracked. This is outrageous. You can't inspect your own work." I met her glare. "Actually, county policy allows it, provided the documentation is filed, which it was. Would you like copies? The board, embarrassed by her theatrics, quickly voted to rescind all fines. The chair announced, "This matter is closed. No further action will be taken." Karen sat frozen, her authority shattered. For once, she had nothing to say. Walking home, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. Tom, my neighbor, slapped me on the back. You should have seen her face. I'll be telling that story for years. The aftermath was sweet. Not only were the fines erased, but Karen's credibility collapsed. Other homeowners who'd been harassed by her found the courage to push back. Within 2 months, she stepped down from the HOA entirely. In the end, the victory wasn't just about saving my porch. It was about standing up for fairness and refusing to be bullied by someone who mistook authority for a weapon. As I sit on that porch today, sipping coffee and watching the sun rise, I think about dignity, how fragile it feels when attacked, and how powerful it becomes when defended. Karen thought she could control me with fear. Instead, she learned that respect and knowledge are stronger than arrogance. And every time I lean back in my chair and admire the porch I built, I smile, because nothing says justice like enjoying the very thing someone tried to take away.